Hey, in today's video, I want to talk to you about a concept called fairness. Stay tuned. So, how do you define fairness? We all live close to fairness. I hear it all the time. That's not fair. This isn't fair. And to be honest with you, life is not fair. There's a story that Jesus told in the New Testament about a landowner who had a farm, and it was harvest time, and the landowner told the manager to go into the village and find workers to bring in the harvest. The manager went into town early in the morning, found some people, and he agreed to pay them a denarius. I think that's how you pronounce the money. 1 denarius for a day's wages. And so they went to work. Well, sometime about mid-morning, the owner said, "Hey, we got to have more workers. Go into the village and let's get some more workers." And so they went into the village. They got some more workers at mid-morning and agreed to pay them a denarius, same amount of money. Later in the afternoon, the owner said, "Hey, we got to have some more help. Go into the village, find some more help." So they went into the village at like 3 in the afternoon. And found some more workers and agreed to pay them the same amount of money, 1 denarius. And at the end of the day, the owner told the manager, line everybody up and pay the last people that came to work first. Well, the people that came to work at 3 o'clock got paid first, and they got paid 1 denarius. The people that came at 11 got paid second, and they got paid the same thing. And the people that worked all day got paid the same thing, and they got paid last. Hey, that isn't fair, man. It isn't fair. And the people that came first grumbled to the manager, grumbled to the owner, and said, "Hey, this isn't right. This isn't fair." And the manager and the owner's attitude was, "Well, you agreed to work all day for a denarius. Did we not do what we told you we would do? Were we not responsible?" And the whole point of the story, the Lord said at the end of the story, that's how the kingdom of heaven will be. The first people are going to be last, and the last people are going to be first. Fairness is a concept. We might define fairness like this. Fairness could be what you think you deserve from another person, and it works the other way. Fairness also could be what you think you owe another person. So it's about owing and deserving. And when you think you owe somebody something, it puts you in a place of debt or an obligation. And when you do things for other people out of obligation and you have no choice and you do it because you think you have to, then that leads to other negative emotion, some of which we could call resentment, bitterness, frustration, bad stuff. So what are you doing for another person because you think you owe them, because you think you're obligated? Listen, you don't owe anybody anything, but on the reverse of that, you don't deserve anything from anybody else. None of us owe, none of us deserve. If you feel like you deserve, that leads to another mindset that's really terrible called entitlement. Hey, you got to do this for me because I'm entitled. No. You're not entitled to anything, and you don't owe anybody anything. If you do things received from another person based on what's fair, it leads to obligation Obligation leads to resentment and bitterness and frustration. It also can lead to entitlement if you feel like you deserve. And then the next step in the process is unemployment, divorce, or relationship collapse. Think about receiving from another person or giving to another person freely. An assertive mindset, an assertive characteristic is a person who can both give and receive freely. Now, when you give and receive freely, that leads to something called responsibility. I don't owe Ina, my wife, anything. Not a thing. I don't owe her anything, but I have tremendous responsibilities to her. I'm not responsible for her. She's responsible for herself, but I am responsible to her. Responsibility, give freely, give responsibly, in humility, and that leads a person to building character. It leads a person to growing personally and becoming more. So if you can receive your job freely from the person who gave it to you, you didn't earn the job, the person gave it to you freely. He might have given it to you out of fairness, but how you receive it freely. And then give responsibly. You have lots of responsibilities in your job. Be responsible, give responsibly. Jim Rohn used to say it like this. Jim said, work more than you get paid. Well, why would anybody work more than they get paid? Because here's why. It isn't what you get, it's what you become. And if you can give freely, responsibly, and grow in humility, that's going to lead to a place of contentment. And then once you're at a place of contentment, it's going to lead to a place of fulfillment. Okay, so think about this. Break up with fairness. Life is not fair. Everybody has their own definition of what they think they deserve and what they think they owe, so it's all mixed up anyway. Break up with fairness and start giving and receiving freely. And give responsibly. And when you give responsibly, you have the right to say, no, I ain't gonna do that anymore. Giving and receiving freely leads to fulfillment, and receiving based on what's fair leads to emptiness. So you pick where you want to live. What side of the line do you want to live on? Do you want to live on the above the line where you are content and fulfilled, or do you want to live below the line where you're always obligated, you're always owing somebody something, you always feel like you deserve something? All that leads to emptiness. You choose how you want to think about giving and receiving. Hey guys, I hope this helped you. If you want to be free, receive freely. It's called freedom. Hey, thank you, and God bless.